what are the what are the major issues that the mountain ecosystem can have right now. So so I'll be will be take up few of the points where the discussion not only from my end, but if any one of you feel to discuss in related with any of the issues, then we can even address all those points. Okay. So now, like if you look at the mountain ecosystem in one point of view, as we had discussed in the distribution part, it is not distributed properly, and most of its distribution is very much related with the plate boundaries, and because of that, tectonically, geologically, the mountain ecosystems are very fragile. And besides, there's so many issues are there which has to be addressed. So now, in the case of the mountain ecosystem, if you look at the mountain ecosystem, most of major part of the habitats you can find in the mountain ecosystem. So here, not only that, the mountain regions, they usually provide essential ecosystem services for the lowlands. No, so whatever, if anything happens, if anything goes wrong on the mountainous region, then it is obviously going to affect the lowland areas. Okay, so it's not like, for example, if we see the mountainous region, it's actually the the source area, which controls the climatic condition of the whole region, not only the mountain region, but even the lowland region. You know, the climatic condition, the availability of the water resources, all these are basically controlled by the mountainous region. So because of that, the mountainous regions are considered as an essential ecosystem services for the lowland areas as well. So now, besides that, the mountain ecosystem, it is considered to be the host of a great diversity of the habitats and the species. You'll find that in the mountainous region, the habitats, you'll find diverse nature of the habitats and the species. So besides the importance of the mountain ecosystem, but right now the mountain ecosystem are going through so much of the environmental issues. So those issues we'll be discussing now. If you see the mountain ecosystem, you will find that the mountain ecosystem are very fragile and very vulnerable. Okay, very fragile and very vulnerable. So why? Because geologically also it's being affected, and besides that, the way the human beings are degrading the mountainous region, because of that also the mountainous region is becoming more vulnerable to many of the natural hazards, like the soil erosion is there, your landslide activity is there, your flash flood is there. So all these are some of the issues which are going through, and because of that, the mountainous region is becoming more vulnerable day by day. And besides that, if you see, one of the major threat in the mountainous region is that the land abandonment is there. Land abandonment means, you also might have observed, especially in Arunachal Pradesh, you might have also observed that in many of the mountainous villages, many of the villages which are located in a mountainous region, people actually are abandoning their land, and they are coming to the plain area, because plain area provides them a ample source of the resources, land resources for the agricultural, as well as many opportunities are there in the plain region. So there is a severe threat on the land abandonment in the hilly areas. The hilly areas, some of the village, you will find that in many of the villages, only the old people are left behind, but the younger generation, they are moving to the places which gives them the opportunity for the economic opportunities are there, and as well as your educational opportunities are there. So they are leaving their hilly area, their land, and because of that, you'll find that most of the villages, they are they look like a deserted part, deserted area. And besides that, mountain ecosystem used to have an intensifying agricultural activities because the land availability is very less. As the land availability is less, whatever land is available, so they are practicing agriculture in a very intensive way, and because of that also the sustainability is a major concern for the mountainous region. And besides that, now these days the infrastructural development which are coming to the mountainous region, because of that also it has affected the environment, the mountain environment in a very broad way, in a very serious way, because whatever infrastructural development like in the form of your road construction, like in the form of the building construction, tunnel construction. So for the sake of the infrastructural development, the mountainous regions are disturbed, the deforestations are going on, and as the deforestation is there, as the slope cutting is there, so due to that, all these issues, if it is not addressed properly, then it is going to create so much of your vulnerability, so much of fragility of the mountainous region. Obviously the development, it has to be there, infrastructural development has to be there, but the important thing is that for the sake of the development, it should not compromise the importance importance of the mountainous region. So for the sake of the development, obviously the environment has to be taken care of. Now development has to be there, it cannot be stopped, but side by side you have to develop in such a manner so that the sustainability concept can be there in its developmental processes. Okay, then another your mountain ecosystem threat is that whatever your, like for example, whatever your resource exploitation is there, whatever resources, like maybe the mineral resources, maybe the forest based resources, whatever resources are there, whatever they are in what form they are exploited, they are not extracted out in a sustainable manner, rather in a very unsustainable exploitation of the resources are mostly seen in the mountainous region. I'll be discussing all these issues when we'll go for the case study of individual mountain system. Okay, and besides that, one of the major concern of the mountainous ecosystem is that the effect of the climate change. Now, as the climate change is there, the glaciers are receding day by day, and as the glaciers are receding, the precipitation activities in the mountainous region are also affected. More of the precipitation in the form of rainfall is there, very less snowfall is there. So all these are because of the climate change. Okay, so these are some of the issues that the mountain ecosystem is facing right now. So now we'll discuss in detail that how all these issues one by one in detail by taking some of the examples. Okay, so the first point, I hope all of you are noting down. So the first point of discussion which we had started with that the point is, under that point you can write mountain region provides, please note down, mountain region provides essential ecosystems. First you write the points, then I'll be discussing individual point. Okay, let me repeat it. Mountain region provides essential ecosystem services for lowland. Mountain region provides essential ecosystem services for lowlands. Is it done? Okay, so we'll discuss on this first point. Okay, on this first point. Under this first point, the first subheading, okay, under this first point, the first subheading you write, mountain ecosystem provides goods and services. Mountain ecosystem provides goods and services. Is it done? Mountain ecosystem provides goods and services. Now I'll discuss on this first point, first subheading. Okay, so here in this point, what we can understand is that mountain ecosystem, it used to play a very key role in, especially in water cycle. Okay, if we look at the hydrological cycle, so this mountain ecosystem is it plays a very key role in the hydrological cycle for the lowland areas, because this mountain region, it influences the temperature and the precipitation. Temperature and the precipitation, and not only this, like the mountainous region, it actually modulates the runoff, the rivers, the source of the river, the provision of the input of the rainwater, the input of the melted water, snow melted water. So it's the mountainous region where the circulation of the water, it actually is carried out. If any of the changes are there in the temperature and the precipitation, it is going to change the hydrological cycle, and if the hydrological cycle is affected, then obviously it is going to affect the availability of the water in the lowland areas. So we can say that mountainous region, mountain ecosystem is the storehouse of the water, for the lowland area. Okay, and besides that, like how the storehouse, because the water for the lowland areas in the form of the rivers, in the form of the springs, so the rain and the snow are stored in the mountainous mountain vegetation and the soils, and which are gradually being released in the lowland areas. And now besides the water, if you look at the sediments which are transported from the higher areas from the mountainous region. So all that transported sediments which are going along with the rivers, so it actually provides the nutrients, the soil nutrients for the lowland areas. You will find that how the fluvial sediments in the form of the alluvial deposits, and even in the coastal regions like your deltas are there, where the sedimentation of the river carried out is there. So all these sediments, what it represents, it's actually the sediments which were brought from the mountainous region and again settled down, again transported and deposited in the lowland areas. So all these are the sediments which are considered as very fertile for the agricultural activities. Okay, and besides that, your groundwater, which I had discussed. So groundwater also the mountain region can contribute the groundwater recharge in the lowland areas, because if you see the hydrological cycle, if you look at how the groundwater is recharged, so mountainous region is considered as a recharge where the water is infiltrating, percolating, and further it is recharging the groundwater even in the lowland areas. Okay, then besides that, if you if you see how the no services are provided by the mountainous region. Like most of the horticultural crops are there, most of the agricultural crops are there. So all these crops are it's transported, it's being provided, these are provided from the mountainous region. And not only this, your goods and services, it's not only the mountain people, not only to the mountain people, but also to the lowland areas where the demand of especially the population is there for the agricultural centers, for the industrial activities. For that also, the mountain people can be considered as a source of human resources, which can be for many of the activities, industrial agricultural activities, which are occurring in the lowland plain areas. Okay, this point is the first sub point of the first your topic. Okay, then second one is the habitat and the species diversity. Habitat and the species diversity. So if you look at the mountainous region, so due to the different altitudinal gradients, as the altitude is becoming, as altitudinal change is there, it is changing the climatic condition as well. Your temperature, the precipitation are also affected, and because of the favorable your environment, favorable climatic condition, the mountainous region is considered as a host for the habitat, diverse habitat and the species. And you'll find that that the diversity of the habitat as well as the species are very high in the mountainous region than the lowland areas because of the favorable climatic condition. Okay, so this is the second point. And the third point under the first subheading is the in the case of the mountainous region, uh, low intensity farming support biodiversity. Okay, low intensity farming. Low intensity farming supports biodiversity. So in this case, in the mountainous area, because availability of the land is less, so the intensification of the agriculture is high. What the people in the mountainous region, what the indigenous people they are doing is, they are basing on what kind of favorability of the environment, of the surrounding, is basing on the climatic condition, basing on the soil, mountainous soil. The people, the indigenous people, they are they are like livestock rearing, they are carrying out because the soil is not suitable for the crop production. And besides that, your whatever cultivation that the people are carrying out, all their cultivation are completely they are following the traditional way of cultivation. So here uh, in this case, because a very less input of the modernization is there, so because of that, the biodiversity is not affected much, because the traditional way of cultivation are carried out. So they are they are living in a very friendly way, in a very balanced way with their environment. So this is the third point. Now the fourth point is that mountain supports a rich cultural heritage. If you look at the mountain, they support a rich cultural heritage. So now, if you look at the environmental condition and the resources of the mountains, what the environmental condition are, like you have the steep slopes are there, the soils are very poor and shallow, and the climatic condition is also very extreme if you go to a higher altitudinal areas, in a higher zone. So due to no, all these are the reasons due to which you will find mostly that the cultural diversity is also there. Not only the habitat and the species diversity, but the all this has resulted into a very high cultural diversity. and you can even find that the people of the mountainous region, traditional knowledge is very very high in, if you look at them, the traditional knowledge, traditional knowledge in maintaining their land, traditional knowledge in maintaining their forest resources, traditional knowledge for the healing purpose. No, so all those traditional knowledge, it reflect that they have a very rich cultural diversity. And besides that, you'll find that the mountains region, besides there, because that the tourism sectors are becoming, it is flourishing in the mountainous region. Now the people, the lowland people, the outsiders, they are looking to the your mountainous region in search of the rich cultural heritage that the people, that the indigenous people that they have. So most of the your tourism industry, tourism sectors, now they are ecotourism is there, no, ecological tourism is there, and even cultural tourism is there, cultural tourism industries. So to see the rich and the diverse cultural activities in the mountainous region. Okay, so these are the 4 points under the first subheading, which you had written as a mountain region provides essential ecosystem services for the lowland. That was the first point. Another second point, I hope all of you are following me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now write down the second point. Second point is the mountain ecosystems are, second point, write down. Second point, mountain ecosystems are fragile and vulnerable. Okay, so now how this mountain ecosystem is fragile and vulnerable. So under that, you write the first point. First point, mountain ecosystems face a complex of rapid change. Mountain ecosystem face a complex of rapid change. Rapid change. Okay, so now here under this point, what we can discuss is that the main pressure that the mountain biodiversity right now, which they are facing, the main pressure is that due to change in the land use practices. Okay, due to change in the land use practices. How due to change in the land use practices? Because now like the age old traditional method of the cultivation, no, the age old traditional method of the cultivation are now changed into a modern way of agricultural practices, and because of that, it has changed the slope as well as the soil condition, because more of the like input of the fertilizers are seen to be applied in the soil, which otherwise was not practiced in the region. And besides that, besides the change in the land use practices, another one is the unsustainable tourism is there. No, unsustainable tourism. How unsustainable tourism? Obviously, ecotourism is very, it's very good even for the good for the your mountainous region. But side by side, whatever tourism activities are carried out, that tourism activities are not, is not developed in a sustainable way. Unsustainable tourism is there. How? Because as people are coming to the your mountainous region, So when the outsiders are coming, they are leaving behind the carbon footprints. No, carbon footprints means they are leaving behind the garbages. They are leaving. They are no. They are living out from the mountainous region by disturbing the by disturbing the true nature of the mountain. So due to that, the unsustainability of the tourism are there. And besides that, as we had discussed that that the mountainous region are very fragile. So if any change is there, obviously it is going to affect. No, it is going to affect. So the fragility, the vulnerability of the mountain region, it can be checked if a sustainable way of tourism industries are set up in the region. And besides that, because of the infrastructural development also, infrastructural development, your road connectivity is there, industrial setup is there, your mining activities are there, all these can also lead into a rapid change in the mountainous region. And besides that, your overexploitation of the natural resources. No, overexploitation of the natural resources are also there. Your both mineral resources as well as the as your forest resources. If overexploitation is there, then even it can lead to a rapid change in the mountainous region. So this is the first point. First point, and another point under this first is the climate change, the effect of the climate change. So how we can see so many examples are there which shows the climate change in the region. So one of the best example that we can see is the European mountainous region. No, European mountainous region, your Alps are there. So this is a region where it is right now experiencing a very strong climate change in this region. Okay, in the Alps. So here, what kind of change it can see? Like the glaciers are retreating day by day. No, these Alps, the European Alps, glaciers are receding. The temperature are rising. As the temperature are rising, the changes in the precipitation is no seen. More of the rainfall than the snowfall. And because of that, not only this, in the European mountainous region, the land use change is creating so much a problem, no? Because the socioeconomic pressure is there. As the socioeconomic pressure is there, obviously the land use changes are to be happen. Now, this is the first point under the second sub major point. Now, second point is the biodiversity suffers from the land intensification and abandonment, as I had discussed in the beginning itself. That whatever your plant diversity is there. Okay. Second point is biodiversity suffers from land use intensification and the abandonment. This is the second point. Now, whatever your plant diversity is there, no plant diversity in the mountainous region are reduced down due to the intensification of the land, due to the land abandonment. Okay, due to the intensification as well as the land abandonment. So the example can be the Alps itself. Okay, Alps itself. So here in the Alps region, like the agricultural management, whatever agricultural management on economical profitable sites is being intensified, because intensive your whatever agricultural activities are there in the mountainous region, in the Alps area. So that agricultural management to get a more economic value, the land is actually being overused, over intensified. Due to that the land is losing its value. The land degradation is going on. Okay, and besides that, third point is the like the infrastructural development. which is a major cause for the fragmentation of the mountainous ecosystem. So whatever policies are there, like your no, if whatever policies are being created in a national level policies, so they all that policies while preparing, they actually are ignoring the vulnerability and the disadvantaged character of the mountain. No, you can just take an example of India itself. Whatever policies are there, your planning policies, it may be a planning policies or it may be developmental policies are there. For whole of the country, for whole of the country, India is a country. The policies are same like the plain area, the mountain area. But for the mountainous region, the policies which are applied in the plain that cannot be applicable in the mountainous region, because the mountain as a whole is no, it's reflecting a very different kind of nature. So more of the vulnerability is there, more of the disadvantages are there in the mountain region. But without taking care of that, the development is no infrastructure development. For example, the highways, the creation of the construction of the highways as a policies, it should have a certain certain width should be there, certain your depth should be there. But the highways, when it is being constructed in the mountainous region, it has to be different from the way the highways are constructed in the plain areas. So without taking much of the concern of the mountain problem, the construction, the developments are carried out. So due to which the ecosystem are fragmented. The ecosystem are fragmented in a very wrong way. And now here, another your fourth point is the unsustainable exploitation. Unsustainable exploitation, it threats the mountain ecosystem goods and the services. Like unsustainable exploitation, how it can be, like in the your in the Arunachal Pradesh, for example, in the Arunachal Pradesh, like if you see the hunting and the poaching, it's basically carried out for a very rare and endangered species. Now if you just go towards your village, you'll find that on the roadside, the people, the villagers, they have hunted some of the endangered species, rare species, and they are selling it with a very high price. So not only in the Arunachal Pradesh, but you'll find that in many parts of the mountainous region, the hunting of especially the rare and the endangered species are carried out, which are actually a very unsustainable way of the exploitation. And besides that, unsustainable exploitation like the tourism is there. Mass tourism, it can lead to a major threat to the biodiversity, mountain biodiversity. It can lead to a large scale damage to the nature and the landscape of the mountain region. And again, let me take an example of Arunachal Pradesh. In Arunachal Pradesh, like so many festivals are there. Festival, for example, Siang Festival, Subansri Festival, और क्या है, Pake Kesang Festival, so many festival. River का नाम में इतना सारा festival होता है. Like I think in Assam also Brahmaputra Festival कुछ ऐसा होता हुआ. So after each festival, during that festival, what actually happens? You'll find that so much of alcoholism is there. आपका इतना सारा, especially food items, क्या वो सब होता है. I'm not saying it is bad, but if it can be, festival can be celebrated in a proper way, in a sustainable way, then obviously it is good for even for the local people, for the for the economic, no, for the income purpose, side income purpose. But what we see that after every festival, after every river festival, they are leaving behind so much of garbages in the river. No, then who are responsible for taking care of those garbages? Okay, so this mass tourism in the name of in the in the name of the river festival are actually creating so much of threat to the biodiversity. The river biodiversity are affected. It is damaging the nature and its landscapes in a very large scale. Okay, so this is one of the major issues because of the tourism, because of the unsustainable exploitation. Okay, now now besides, like when we talk about the mountainous region, because if mass tourism is there, that means the pressure, the human pressure on that area will be more. And if more human pressure is there, then what will happen? It obviously will leave behind so much of your carbon prints in the area. Okay, so this is one thing. And because of the unsustainable way of the your resource exploitation, what unsustainable way of the development, what kind of changes it is creating, you will find that the frequency of the natural hazards are becoming more and more in the mountainous region. Like frequency, like mud flows are there, flash floods are there, your droughts are there, even no, it is even expected to increase in the near future. Like if you in the olden days, no, in the olden days we have heard very less about the landslide. No, natural hazard, landslide is a natural hazard, flow is a natural hazard. But these days the landslide, mud flow is becoming, no, it's becoming a regular kind of activities. The frequency is becoming more and more these days. Why? Because the unsustainable way of the development, unsustainable overexploitation of the resources, all these are the major issues, major reasons for the higher frequency of the natural hazards in the mountainous region. And now in the another one is the climate change, as I have already explained. That mountain, we have understood that mountain region is a host of various diverse your species, both animal as well as the plant species. But that diversity of the species are affected much because of the climate change in the region. No, let me just take example of the Alps itself. The Alps during the late 19th century, no, between late 19th century to early 21st century, the Alps had an approximate temperature rise of about 2 degrees Celsius. Okay, the Alps 2 degrees Celsius has been increased in between the late 19th and the early 21st century. And because of that increasing nature of the temperature, it has affected a significant loss of the glacial volume in the Alps. Okay, so that is also a major concern for the mountain region right now. And as the climate change is going on, then obviously it is going to affect so many diverse nature of the species of the on the your mountainous region. So these are some of the issues which are right now a major issue in the not only in the Himalayan mountainous region, but even in many almost in all of the world mountain region. These issues are common to each and every mountain region. Okay, so this is about the background of how the mountain ecosystem are in congenial, how the mountain ecosystem are fragile in nature, vulnerable in nature. So all these issues will be discussed in a very detailed way by Nimashu sir also, and as well as by me also. I'll be discussing it when we'll discuss on the individual case study of the mountain system. Okay, so This is from my side. If you have any query, if you have any doubts and you want to discuss more on if any of the topic, then let's keep 10 minutes for that discussion. Okay, it's 10:21, so 10 minutes for the discussion. If anything, if any issues are there. Anything? Anything is there? No? Anything? Nothing? कुछ नहीं है ना? Yes, no, कुछ तो बोलो. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing to discuss?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please respond करो, हाँ. If nothing is there for the discussion, then let's stop the class for today. Okay? अगर कुछ होने से do let me know, हाँ. So thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
ma'am.
and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.